Hey, everybody.
Hey. What have you been up to?
I have been very busy, but I am super excited because did you know that today is National Puppy Day?
Really? All cute little fluffy things? I love them.
Yes. What is your favorite thing about puppies?
How cute and fluffy they are, and how much their little yip is. I don't like big barks because they're loud, but when they're just like yipping, it's so cute. They're
Yeah.
my favorite.
I think my favorite thing about a puppy is they're just so excited and non-judgmental. And you walk in the door and they're just wagging their little tail or their little nubbing. They're just like so excited to see you.
Yes, absolutely. And did you know it's also for all you Harry Potter fans out there? It's National Ravenclaw Day. Welcome back to Tangled Heartstrings. This week is going to be amazing.
Far from the crowded room, you played my heartstrings. What could I do? Caught by the light in you, the prospect of something new, too good to be true. We were so young and free, a beautiful symphony, no time to deceive. Now all the love has gone. We traded our innocence, tried to stay strong.
All right, guys. I know some of us struggle with the winter blues and trying to come out of the slump. But let's not forget the struggles summertime brings. Winter weight gain, trying to fit in those clothes, trying to fit in that new bikini you just bought, and it's just not working out for you. Ashley was telling me about an article that she read, and I wanted her to share some facts from it because I thought that maybe with us coming into spring and warmer weather, that we could all use a little pick me up when we're feeling a little bit down.
Definitely. The article was full of good stuff that would give us just that pick me up that we need. And so it talked about, it was called Summer Lovin' Yourself First. And it just talked about different ways that you can show yourself love as we're going into summer. And so the three categories it focused on were mental health, physical health, and emotional health. So I wanted to just share a couple bullet points for each one. For mental health, they really encouraged you to do anything that stimulates your brain and helps you practice kindness towards yourself. I think a lot of times we think about being kind to others, but we don't think about being kind to ourselves. And so things that you can do to be kind to yourself, one is seeing whatever the big summer movie is, or playing a game with your friends, connecting. Cleaning and organizing. I know it's not something that in and of itself is very fun, but if you have, we all have at least one junk drawer, you open it and it's chaos and you can't find anything and it stresses you out. Organizing that drawer, maybe while you're organizing, it isn't that fun, but the act of having everything in place when you're done is a way to do something nice for yourself. It talked a little bit about time outside, either relaxing in the sun, on the beach, getting that vitamin D, or even in the shade under a tree, reading a book, just enjoying the warm weather, little breeze coming through, keeping cool. And then it talked also about saying yes to things that you enjoy and no to obligations, because how often do we say yes to something just because we should do it, and then we dread it and we really don't want to do it? Mia is nodding in agreement.
Absolutely. All the time.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, those are some things. I'm sure you guys have your own ideas as well. Anything else that you can think of, Mia? Otherwise, I can move on.
I'm going to hit on, the cleaning thing. So every time, like we're in the winter time and it's cold, I like to stay inside and I like to stay under my blanket because it's a warming blanket. And I try to stay warm because I don't like the cold. So our first warm day, I always get this urge to clean. And I call that like my little spring pick me up cleaning. So, I go through my clothes and toss or donate anything that doesn't fit or I haven't worn all winter long. I pull out my summer things. I try on my bikini. So I know, it's starting to get warm. Do I need to change my diet? Have I overeaten maybe over the winter time? And it's okay to gain weight during the winter. It's actually very healthy to gain weight during the winter because just like animals, we need a little extra fat to keep us warm during that time. So gaining weight during the winter time is not a bad thing. It's how we're shedding it and making sure that we're changing our eating habits and really thinking about what we're putting in our body, especially if we're not losing that weight that we gained. Because it's usually really simple. We get outside, we move around more. So we're going to pull off that weight pretty quickly. During the winter, we're staying inside and we're not moving as much because we want to stay warm. So we're staying by the fire, we're staying under warming blankets. And, it's really taking that time and cleaning out the mess and reinventing not only yourself for the summertime, but reinventing your home too. Bring in spring flowers as a pick-me-up. Smelling those flowers are amazing.
Yeah, and there really is something special about a newly organized closet. I didn't even think about closet. But yeah, that's great. If you don't have a shoe rack and your shoes are just thrown all over the floor, you can find them sometimes on like free sites and Goodwill for cheap. Um, so yeah, organization's a great thing. And then one really important piece of information regarding mental health is if you are struggling, there is a suicide hotline. It's dialing 988, and you can get connected with somebody who can talk with you because regardless of the time of year, we all have struggles and there's no shame in reaching out for help.
Absolutely. I just learned about this through one of our guest hosts, Trisha, Mama of Wolves. And honestly, I wish that I would have known about 988 a few years ago, back in 2019, when I was struggling really hard. So even if you don't feel suicidal and you just need someone to talk to, it's a full mental health hotline, and there'll be somebody there to speak with you.
Yeah, that's awesome. So the article also talked about the physical health aspect, which you were just getting at, Mia, with what we eat
Right.
and things like that. A few key pieces, and these are common sense, but it's like we don't want to believe them sometimes. But things that are really important to prioritize are exercise, nutrition, quality sleep, keeping up regular checkups with your doctor, and staying hydrated. I am like obsessed with drinking water right now. This cup that I'm using is 4 8-ounce cups of water. And so if I get through 2.5 of these, I've gotten 80 ounces of water in a day, which is like my goal. So that's something that I've been trying to do.
That's actually a really good idea. If you have struggle and you can't drink water, or you feel like you can't drink water, I buy True Lemon or True Lime packets, and I have a special cup that only gets water, and that's all that goes into it. So make sure, if you're struggling with getting hydrated and drinking your water, even if you have to have like a flavor packet, make sure it's a hydrating flavor packet and it's not full of sugars, because you're going to get that high from the sugar that while you're drinking it, and then you're going to get that really bad low, and it's just going to make your depressive state way worse.
Yep, totally agree. And not that caffeine is the worst, but some of those have caffeine, and caffeine naturally dehydrates you. And so it's kind of like counteracting the water. Something else that I've done is putting fresh fruit in there. Blueberries does not work. There's no flavor, but I really like strawberries, and I really like pineapple. I'm not a big lemon or lime person, but strawberries and pineapple, or strawberries and cucumber together is really good.
Yes. Cucumber and mint together is amazing too. And mint is very refreshing, especially on a hot day.
Yeah. And then regarding exercise, if you're like me, you probably dread it. And so find something that you actually enjoy. Like if you hate running, don't make yourself run. Do you like dancing? do you like lifting weights? Do you like, I just bought some jump ropes the other day because I thought, I hate running, but that might be cardio that would be fun to do with my kids in the backyard on our patio. So if you're going to do exercise, find something that you actually enjoy doing, and you're going to be more likely to do it.
Oh, absolutely. I hated walking until I started losing weight. And now, like when it's warm, I have to work myself back up now. And I started at a 1/2 mile. So I'm going to work myself back up and get to 5 miles a day again. So that's my goal for the summer. It's going to be totally a process to work back up that way. But because I've been lazy this winter, and I'm sure so many people have. I see you guys. Hey, David. Hey, Zach. Hey, Traveling Fools. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. If you guys are viewing, the comments are open. Go ahead and put your comments in. Let us know what you think about what we're reading. And we're going to start here soon with our favorite parts.
One other thing that I want to just mention on the physical health is sleep. I know that a lot of people pride themselves on not getting a lot of sleep because, I can function on 4 hours of sleep just fine. But there's actually science that proves that our bodies regenerate cells as we're sleeping, and that can fight off diseases and cancer. And also, like, when you read into it, there's like a ton of stuff. Sleep is so good for you. So make sure that you're getting enough sleep this summer. It's hard because you want to make the most of the daylight, but you're going to be much better. You're going to feel much better overall when you are getting enough sleep. So, okay. So then the last thing that I want to share with you guys is just the emotional health aspect of it. Make sure that you are checking in with a friend, staying connected with people, doing meditation if that's something you've never tried, like a prayer or meditation, something to kind of bring centeredness and peace, journaling, writing out your thoughts. They even listed playing with a pet, which I thought, does that fit in there? But it really does, because if you have an animal that you love and you play with them and you see them jumping and being silly and cuddly and whatever, it just brings you joy. So those are great ways to connect.
And don't forget your affirmations. Use your affirmations, especially when you're feeling down. That is when you need them the most. When you think that you don't need them, that's when you need them. Or when you think you don't want to hear them, that's when you need to say them.
Yes. Yes. Speaking positively to yourself, it all goes together with how you can be kind to yourself. Show yourself the same love that you show other people.
Absolutely. All right, this is the part that we all love, our Reddit reads. This week, I wanted to focus on mental health and how hard we are on ourselves with what we say to ourselves, not what other people are saying to us, but what we say to ourselves and how we make our own selves feel. And look at ways to change our views and what we can do on our own to feel better mentally and physically. It's important to remember that we're using self-love, especially when we feel the worst. Ashley, I know you have the perfect Reddit to start us off with.
I sure do. All right. So we have somebody who wrote in, and it was titled Tips for Struggling with Body Image in the Summer. This summer has been a tough one for me in terms of being comfortable in my body. I'm at the highest weight I've been in years, and those extra pounds around my belly and thighs are all I see when I look in the mirror. It makes it really difficult to find shorts, swimsuits, or tops that I feel comfortable in. So I've been wearing sweatshirts, sweatpants, and leggings all summer, and it's very hot and uncomfortable. I'm working on my eating habits, moderation, cutting fast food and sweets, more vegetables, etc., and have begun exercising again. Really, this summer has taught me that I don't ever want to feel this gross and uncomfortable in my body ever again. And I'm more committed to getting fit again than ever. But what do I do in the meantime? I'm going on vacation tomorrow and will undoubtedly have to deal with these feelings all week as we hang out at the beach and pool. It's to the point that I cry just thinking about how I look and how self-conscious I will be in a week. I'd rather not go at all, but it's too late to back out. Anyone been there? Words of wisdom? I think honestly, I think every woman has been there. I think that a lot of men have probably also been there, but I think it is definitely a struggle that women deal with. And one of the comments said, keep in mind that other people are not looking at you and thinking those same things. Like there are other women in a different situation that may look at your body and envy you and wish that they had, what you had. Maybe they wish that they had your curves, or maybe they have a condition that they're really thin and they're trying to gain weight and they can't. And so, that first comment just about perspective and realizing that we look at ourselves and we critique every flaw, but other people are not doing that. So I'm a very body positive person. I've always loved my body, even at my heaviest. And I have my dad to thank for instilling high self-esteem in me, and high confidence, but I definitely have had those struggles as well. You look in the mirror and all you see are the flaws. You see the love handles, the cellulite, the pasty skin. I'm a very pale person. I've had struggles with acne most of my life. And so, number one, just looking at that negative self-talk. Like this is a woman writing in who is focusing on all of her flaws. And these flaws are very real to her. And they are defining how she moves forward. She can't even wear a bathing suit. She can't even have fun. She's in sweatpants and sweatshirt in the summer, which is just, it's just a lot, right? So the first thing that I would want to do is have her, or have you, if you're listening, reshape that negative self-talk. So instead of looking at your flaws, having grace for yourself. I know one thing I've struggled with is I will go months and months and months without exercising because I hate it. And there have been times that I've been like, gosh, why are you so lazy? Just go to the gym. And then I have to say, I'm not lazy. I actually work very hard and I do a lot of things. I'm just really tired. So I'm not prioritizing this right now. So having to rewire that wording from you're lazy, you piece of what, to you're just tired and that's okay. What can we do? So having grace for yourself is like the big number one thing for me. Number two would be loving what your body does offer you. There are people who can't walk. There are people who have lost limbs. There are people who cannot go out in the sun because they have a skin condition that if they're in heat that's too high, or if they get any sun on them at all, they get 3rd-degree burns. Like, just enjoy the fact that you do have a body, that it moves, you can walk, you can go out in the sun. And, Mia was talking about those affirmations. We can do those same affirmations for our bodies. While you're putting on a bathing suit, thank you, body, that I have the ability to move and put on this bathing suit. Thank you that, I'm not in the hospital and that I'm overall, healthy or not struggling with conditions that are keeping me from going out and doing things I love. And so just try to love your body for what it does have to offer. And then the biggest thing, it sounds like you're already doing, which is developing healthy habits. I had changed my eating recently, and I started making sure half my plate was vegetables and the other half was lean, healthy protein. And after a month and a half, I did not lose a single pound, and I was really frustrated. And I talked to my friend who gave me the tip to do it. And I said, I haven't even lost a pound and I've made all of these big changes. And he said, people become healthy by practicing healthy habits. Nobody who switches to eating vegetables and lean meat and exercising, even in low moderation, nobody doing those things becomes obese or becomes unhealthy. Like, you, even if it's a slow process, when you're doing healthy people habits, you're going to become a healthy person. So just, if you're listening, have that grace for yourself, love what your body does offer. Appreciate the fact that even though you're not at your best, there are lots of people out there that would love to have your body. And those people are not looking at you and thinking, oh my gosh, I can't believe she would wear that. Or, oh, how dare she have cellulite? Literally every single person, every single woman has cellulite. My 13-year-old daughter, who is thin as a rail, already has cellulite. Like, it's just, you can't let these things define how you feel about yourself. You have to find ways to love yourself. And I know that it's easier said than done, but those would be my biggest tips.
I agree with you. I think it is a big issue that women have is because of social media, because of society, and what the so-called Barbie look brings to the world. Everybody thinks that they need to be skinny. Everybody thinks that they need to have a certain size breast, or, a certain size butt, or they have to have abs. Those are not normal people things. Those are healthy people things that people have worked so hard to get to. Or it's definitely not, oh my gosh, she was born that way and she's been that way her entire life. I guarantee she has been that way because she has had healthy eating habits. She has exercised or has been in sports most of her adolescent life. So she's doing all of the things, or he's doing all of the things. If he's got a 6-pack abs or he's got muscles, he's out there in the gym working to get those muscles. You don't get anywhere in life unless you work for it, whether it be physically, mentally, emotionally. Those things we all have to work for. It's not going to be, oh my gosh, I'm going to wake up tomorrow and I'm going to lose 10 pounds overnight. It doesn't happen that way. We have to work for what we want. If we want to be skinnier, if we want to have that so-called Barbie body, and maybe you can't work that far ahead. And I'm an advocate for this because I've done it. If you are struggling with that weight and you just need that little bit extra, it's okay to speak with a plastic surgeon and get you to your point of happiness. I promise you, it'll make you happier.
Yeah, absolutely. There's nothing wrong with doing things to improve yourself and make yourself feel better. I dye my hair blonde. My hair isn't this blonde. If you look real closely, there's little grays popping through. And,
exactly. So we have the ability with what we have presented to us in the stores with our doctors. If we're not comfortable with ourselves and we can't achieve that on our own, and it's really messing with our mental health, talk to somebody that can help you. Maybe you need to go see a doctor and get your hormones checked. And this is for men and women the same. Everybody can go and do this. Get your hormones checked. Make sure that you're eating the foods that are helping with your metabolism. Make sure that you are getting the vitamins that you need and the minerals that you need, because sometimes we're gaining weight because we're not getting the proper nutrition. It's not because we're eating healthy or we're eating crappy foods. It's because we're not getting the vitamins and minerals that we need, that our body needs in order for our metabolism to work properly. And all of this junk and all of this over-processed foods are not helping us. So if you're eating bagged chips, canned vegetables, you're not incorporating fresh fruit, fresh vegetables, going to your local farmer's market helps a lot. I know that I'm probably going to get hate for this, but I think any meat that you buy in the grocery store is over-processed. So find a local butcher and go and visit the local butcher. Buy a half a cow, buy a half a pig, buy a freezer, so that way you know what is going into your body and you know what minerals and vitamins that you're getting. So make sure that you're getting the help that you need if you're not succeeding on your own.
Yeah, and eat at home, because when you eat at a restaurant, 90% of the time it's deep fried, and that is horrible for you. I have been tracking my food, And I've been mostly eating at home. But I'm telling you what, the difference between French fries baked in the oven versus French fries from a fast food place is staggering, the amount of calories because of being deep fried. And for me the other night, it was pretzel bites. I'm like, these pretzel bites, like that doesn't look like that many calories. Oh, that's assuming they're baked in the oven. These are definitely deep fried. So it's just making those swaps, and it's hard to do. It's a habit that you have to build. But ultimately, you know what your goals are. Slow and steady wins the race. And then the last thing I'll say about that is some people will put themselves in such a calorie deficit that they're just taking in so few calories that their body holds on to every calorie because it goes into starvation mode. So it is possible to not eat enough and not lose weight or potentially gain weight. So
Yes.
definitely make sure that you're talking with a doctor and doing something or a nutritionist, and something that's actually healthy and not just starving yourself.
And if you don't have the money to go to a doctor or a nutritionist, there is so much information. I tell my kids all the time, you have a phone, you have Google at your fingertips, and there is so much information on the internet. Especially, we're reading from Reddit. Go on Reddit and ask the question, what has helped you lose weight? I'm struggling with this. So make sure that you're using your resources. Use your resources. That's so important. We're going to keep on this with our body image. And there was a Reddit that I read, and I have this issue all the time because I have been blessed in the chest area. So this one really, really stuck me. It says, wearing revealing clothing in summer, people think you're trying to be sexy. Like, no, I just have clothes touching my body right now and have tits. I assure you, this isn't for your benefit. Random shopgoers, platonic male friends, random women with husbands who death stare me. So exhausting having my body objectified when I'm just trying to stay cool and be comfortable. Literally, everyone just has a mind. Just mind your own business. Yes, please mind your own business. Please do not comment on anybody's clothing, whether it be male, female. If you identify otherwise, don't comment on their clothing. You are not at the store with them. You are not shopping. You are not purchasing their clothes. In most cases, and especially in mine, I'm going to wear whatever I am most comfortable with. It is hot in the summertime. I'm big chested. I get uncomfortable. You men know all about the ball sweat, but you know nothing about the boob sweat and how swampy them titties get. So commenting on what I'm wearing or even having opinions about what I'm wearing, and women who get upset because their husbands are looking at me, it's not my fault that they cannot keep their eyes to themselves. That is a you and him problem, not a me and you problem. And that was a comment that I read in here, and I have the same issue. So why are we objectifying people because of their clothing? Why do we do this? It doesn't, if you want to dress modestly, great. That is your opinion, and that is how you feel, and that is how you feel comfortable. If somebody is out here wearing pasties and a mini skirt and they are comfortable and they are walking around, there is no reason for you to make a comment about it. There is no reason in this world for you to worry about what anybody else is wearing. Are they controlling you? Does it affect how you feel about yourself? Because I know it makes them feel good when they're comfortable and they can't, and they don't have swampy titties or swampy balls, Just keep your opinion to yourself. And women, I'm famous for it too, because I'm sorry, if I see some hot girl walking down the street and she has some revealing clothing on, I'm going to look harder. But I mean, men are the same way. So I need to be mindful of it myself. It's not that I'm commenting, I'm appreciating it. So, appreciating it is fine. But when you comment and be like, oh my God, you're wearing that because you just want your tits to hang out. No, that's not why I'm wearing that. I'm wearing that because I don't want my boobs to be all sweaty and I have a line underneath. I need a little bit of breathing room in there.
Well, and not only that, but I still think, I've never shared this, but I think it is unfair that men can walk around without shirts and we can't. And so if it's really hot, obviously not in like a store, like, but
I would. In a heartbeat, I would. If it was appropriate,
it's not legal. I mean, even guys can't walk into a store without a shirt on in most cases.
Okay.
But I'm saying, like, men can go shirtless because it's 90 degrees out. Women can't do that. So if we're wearing a little bikini top, or we're wearing a crop top, or just a cami and no bra and whatever, it's like, who are you to say anything? You don't walk in our shoes. You don't have to deal with the things that we deal with.
Right. And we like the free ball too. Come on.
That's right. It's just maybe a little less noticeable. Unless you're really looking for it.
Right. I mean, sometimes I get irritated because, yes, sometimes I do wear more revealing clothing because I feel sexier in it. It makes me feel better about myself. Plus, I'm comfortable. I'm not hot and sweaty. So I don't understand why everyone else in the world needs to have an issue with what I'm wearing, just like her, in the Reddit. Why are men and women, I'm guilty of it myself, why are we staring at other people just because? Are we appreciating them? Are we really just maybe these people were appreciating her body and what she was wearing? Maybe they liked her top, maybe they liked her shoes, maybe we don't need to jump to conclusions, and maybe they're just appreciating what they see. It's the comments that I would have an issue with, or the catcalling. Catcalling is not necessary. It is not going to get our attention. It is not going to make us be like, oh my God, he's so cute, I have to go meet him. No, it is definitely not going to do that. The first thing it's going to do, it's going to piss us off because it's unnecessary. Me, I would turn around and say some smart ass remark. Other women would be pissed off and walk away. But it's not necessary. How would you feel if I walked around and said, oh my God, your balls look so good hanging out of your shorts? Yeah, it's just not okay. It sounds weird. Oh my gosh, your boobs look so good. No, I'm not going to walk up to somebody and say that. Right. Appreciate in your mind. And don't overstare. Don't overstare. Please don't overstare. Like, if you're appreciating, be like, nice. And then move on. Okay? You don't have to sit there and be like, oh my gosh, is she going to look at me? Oh my gosh. Yeah, no. Most times we're clueless on what's going on around us anyways. So if you're like overstaring, we're going to notice and be pissed off about it.
Yeah, I think there's a difference in the kind of stare too, because there's the gawk that you just described, which is uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. And then there's the like, okay, which is like the quick glance, the appreciate and move on. And then there's that judgy look. And I think that maybe that's what she had experienced, maybe some judgment from other women, or I guess even judgy men being like,
those are my favorites. I like to blow kisses to them and wave and smile, ask them how their day is going.
How's everything going?
Nice like, oh my gosh, thank you for noticing.
Thank you for noticing.
Yes, that's my favorite one. Thank you for noticing.
Yeah. Yeah, but like honestly though, like it's simple. Just don't judge how other people are dressing. Let people live their lives. And the thing is,
unless you want to hand them your credit card and be like, here, I think you need a new wardrobe, then you can. Because if anybody wants to walk up to me on the street and hand me their credit card and say you need a new wardrobe, I'd be more than happy to go shopping. But I guarantee that it's going to have everything and every style that I already own.
Yeah. Well, and so I know that, coming from my religious background, there's a lot of talk inside of the church about women dressing modestly so that they don't cause men to lust after them. But that's not actually biblical. It's not in the Bible. So if anyone's listening and you're a Christian, that's not what Jesus said. Jesus actually said, if your eye causes you to sin, gouge it out. And so at no point does Jesus say, women, you should dress differently because men have a lust problem. He says, men, if you have a lust problem, that's a you issue and you need to gouge your eye out. So I think society today, especially within the church, places that blame on women and says that it's women's job to dress differently to keep men from sinning. But that is the opposite of what Jesus said. So I'm very passionate about this. Women can dress however you want. And if people have a problem with it, just like you said, Mia, that is their problem. That is not your problem. We get to dress however we are comfortable for whatever reason. If it's that we want to be warm or we want to be cool or we want to be warm or we want to be sexy or we want attention, it's our prerogative because it's our body and we get to wear whatever we want. And you can have opinions if you want to, but I feel like the more judgmental you are or somebody is as a person, the more miserable you are also. And so it's like if you're going to be walking around judging how people dress, you're probably not a very happy person. You probably have other places internally that you need to start the work. But it's not me changing my clothes.
I used to be part of the church too, years and years ago. I walked away a long time ago because of judgment. And it's not just in the church, it's just society in general. People think that just because of the way that people dress or act or present themselves, that it's okay to have an opinion about it. But what they don't realize is when they have an opinion about somebody, those people are going to make opinions about them also. And when they're being so judgmental, they're going to lose friendships and lose people that they thought meant something in their lives over something stupid as, oh my gosh, she's wearing a revealing top, or oh my gosh, he's wearing Crocs and socks. You know what I'm saying? It's insane. It's the same thing as judging people that wear sandals and socks, or, somebody that does want to dress modestly. Don't even judge them. If they want to cover up to here, or, they want to cover all the way down to their, why are we judging what people wear? It drives me crazy. I get judged all the time, if you can't tell.
I used to be very judgy. I used to be really judgmental when I was really into the conservative evangelical Christianity years and years ago. And I mean, I was judgy of everybody. Like this shirt that I'm wearing, this teeny little thing, that would be cleavage. And I would be uncomfortable and I could not wear that little bit. Bikinis, I felt like you're basically in a bra and underwear. You're basically naked in front of everybody. I was just so uptight.
I love wearing bikinis because of that, because you feel naked.
Yeah. And even like when I would see Muslim women with like the headpiece, the headdress, and like, head to toe covered, I just would be like, it's just so stupid. Like they've got to be so hot and blah, blah, blah. And over life and going through stuff and developing empathy, I really got to a point of like, number one, I'm miserable. I don't even know why I feel this way other than I've been told to be angry about these things that don't actually make me angry. I'm just trying to think and feel how I think I'm supposed to, but I don't actually care. And so kind of like discovering who I am instead of who I think people want me to be. And if somebody is religious and they want to wear a headdress and clothes from neck to feet and they're out on the beach, hey, good on you that you're getting out on the beach and doing something that you love. Like what they are wearing is completely irrelevant to my life and doesn't impact me. So why should I be upset by it? Or why should I think it doesn't make sense? Or, somebody wearing a string bikini, or like you said, pasties and a miniskirt. If she's comfortable, it's like, do you, like, girl, you are rocking it. You look great, And so just really getting to a point of letting people live their lives and realizing that it doesn't affect me. And some people say, well, it does affect me because I have to look at it. Well, that's not really affecting you. That's you being a human and seeing other people in the world living as humans the way that they, feel compelled to do so. And that's just kind of part of life, and you have to deal with it. And it really does not affect you.
Exactly. It doesn't affect you at all. If you don't like what you see, look away. You don't have to look. Yeah, you saw it once, but you don't have to sit there and stare. That's your fault for staring. And then you create that judgment. Judging people I just don't get it. If what they are doing is not going to affect me physically, mentally, or emotionally, those 3 ways, there is no reason for me to worry about what they're doing, what they're saying, what they're wearing, what they're doing with their money, what they're doing with, what they choose to do on their free time. It's none of my business. So this society of putting so much judgment out into this world, it just, I don't understand it at all, because it doesn't affect you. It doesn't. So why care?
Yeah, I truly think that a lot of it is people are told this is something you should care about and you should be so angry. And then people go, okay, I'm so angry, I care about this. Deep down, it's like, literally, who cares? Literally, who cares?
It's like a brainwash syndrome. Like, you're brainwashed when you're younger to think these things. And we're not, and this is a big thing in my house. And I raise my kids to have their own opinions because of this. And I teach them not to be judgmental, that everybody in this world is a different person. And because of that, this world works and spins around, and every day is possible, because not everybody's the same. We're not living like robots and in this simulation where, everybody does the same job and everybody has the same amount of money. And, we see different struggles in the people that we meet every single day. And seeing those people's struggles, and maybe they're even accomplishments that we're seeing from these people that we're meeting new every day. Because when you walk out of your house, you're going to meet at least 2 new people during that day. And if you're judgmental, those 2 new people could have been your best friend. But because you didn't wave to them and ask them how their day was going, or, smile at them, you don't even have to talk to them. Just being nice and showing kindness out in this world is so important, and being less judgmental. I hate the word because it creates so much controversy in this world.
It does. Well, and it's like people think that their judgment is justified. And
It's not. It's an opinion. That's exactly what judgment is. It is your own personal opinion about somebody. And like I tell everyone that I meet, not all of your opinions need to be spoken out into this world. Not everyone needs to know what you think in your head every day. If you need to get it out, write it down. You don't have to speak it. It doesn't have to be heard by 1 million people. It doesn't have to be heard by 2 people. It doesn't even have to be heard by yourself. Write it down. Especially if it is a judgmental opinion that is going to hurt somebody else. Because how would you feel if somebody came and said that same exact thing to you about yourself?
Yeah, definitely. I think that we talked about it a little bit earlier. Sometimes we don't show ourselves the same love and kindness we show other people. But on the flip side, there are definitely people out there who show themselves all of the love and kindness and don't show it to other people. And, judgment, just like you said, it's observing what people are doing and then developing an opinion. And if you do have an angry type of judgment that just, it makes you make this face, you're so mad about it. and you feel it in your chest, yes, write it down. I would encourage you to also try to get to the root of, why do I feel this way? Why does this bother me so much? And you may find that it's something from your past or something where you were judged. And so you developed an opinion because of something that somebody, said about you. I had a summer that I was on a mission trip, and I worked at Kmart as a cashier, and we could wear pants or skirts. We were not allowed to wear shorts, and it was 90 degrees. And so I got a skirt, and it went just above the knees, but I was the only girl that wore a skirt. And there was a Christian woman that worked there who was in her 70s, who just hated me. She requested not to work with me. And I found out it was because I wore a skirt, because she thought it was so inappropriate that I showed my legs. I'm like, I'm here as a Christian on a mission trip, and it is really hot out. And this is not a revealing skirt. I'm not revealing anything. But she just had this anger within her toward me just because I wore a skirt. And it's like, you got to get to the root of, why do I feel this way? Is this really important? Is it really worth getting in the way of my relationships with people around me or potential relationships? Because like Mia said, you could have an encounter with somebody who could become one of your closest friends if only you hadn't judged them, if only you had, spoken and had a conversation and given them a chance. So I do think when we have those deep judgments, which I have deep judgments too, right? We've talked about them. But we really need to look internally and ask, why do I have this judgment, and why does this make me so angry?
Maybe it's an insecurity you have about yourself. Maybe you're judging that person because you're jealous that they're comfortable with themselves dressing that way, and you wish you had that confidence. Mm-hmm. So that's why judgment is so negative, because you're judging a person on an insecurity that you have instead of looking deep down inside of yourself and finding out how you can fix that insecurity. Fixing your insecurities, maybe you won't be so judgmental. I know I used to be a little judgmental when I was insecure about myself, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe, people are wearing that. And because at my weight, I wouldn't feel comfortable wearing it, and these are people that were at the same weight as me. And now I look at it, I'm like, oh my gosh, they have so much body confidence, and they have so much confidence in themselves that they can go out and wear those things. I wish I felt that way back then, because now I do have that confidence and I am wearing those things. So if it's because of an insecurity that you're making such a big judgmental fact, well, it's not even really a fact, statement about somebody, even if it's just in your head and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe she's wearing that. And then you think, oh my gosh, I wish I could wear that. Then look, how can you? What can you do? What can you say? How can you get yourself to that point and away from those insecurities and be able to wear that same thing that she's wearing and become friends with her and walk down the street with her, and both of you look amazing? No matter your weight, you can wear whatever you want as long as you are confident and comfortable in it. Don't wear something you are uncomfortable in, because then you're just going to feel awful and you're not going to want to be out. So make sure it's something that you're comfortable in. Start small. Maybe you have issues with your weight and you don't like showing your arms. So get a tank top. Build your confidence, and you're gonna get so many compliments, because people don't even think about that stuff, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, you look amazing." Because most people in this world put out kindness, and they're going to compliment you. Don't even pay attention to the ones that judge you, because there's going to be so many more compliments out there for you.
Yeah. Well, and there will be people, just like you said, who are too insecure to do that. And that's why, they're jealous. There are also people who maybe are, thinner, or they think that they pull that off better. And so there's this arrogance, this cockiness of, I'm better than you. how could you think that you have a right to wear something like that? And to that, I say just what you said, like wear whatever you want, number one. But number two, I am telling you, those people are miserable. If a woman is thinner than you and looks at you and says, you don't have a right to wear that because of your body shape, that is a miserable person.
Oh,
and
yeah.
we don't care about the opinions of miserable people because we're happy people and we're confident, and we're even on our saddest days, we're trying to be happy and we're trying to be our best selves. So we don't need to pay any stock to the opinions of miserable people.
I agree 100% with that. Miserable people bring misery, and they try to make everybody else around them feel miserable. So when you're getting those, don't even pay, when you're getting those comments and you're getting those judgmental looks, please, please, please do not listen to them. Move on for sure.
Yeah, the people who love you and who matter will support you.
Complete strangers will support you. Those one or two comments or negative looks are not going to be anything in comparison to the 20 or 30, compliments or the 20 or 30 amazing looks.
Yeah, I saw there's been a big movement, the body positivity movement. We've talked about it on either this show or maybe trivia. And it's a movement where women who are more overweight than some other women are starting to wear two-piece bathing suits and crop tops and short skirts. And they're saying, hey, I take up space and that's okay. These clothes are for me too. And I just want to clap for every single one of them, because I know I have people close to me. We all have struggled with weight in some way, but I have people close to me who have struggled harder and been heavier and just had a lot of those issues. And I've watched them go from being insecure about those things to loving themselves and still trying to be healthy and making those good choices, but saying like, this is my body. Look at all of the good things that it does for me. And I'm going to love it as it is. And I'm going to take up space and I'm not going to apologize for it. And I just applaud all of them, all of us.
Me too. I'm so proud of you.
Are you someone that sleeps? Our studies show you likely are. Designed for side sleepers straight out of the box, the Pillow Fight Haymaker Loft can be adjusted for back or stomach sleepers in mere seconds. Look at your current pillow. Face it, it's nasty. Our competition uses these cheap blobs of foam that just aren't comfortable or supportive. Pillow Fight's proprietary noodle-shaped foam blend rebounds quickly for maximum cool, comfort, and support. Oh yeah. Our naturally cooling cover will have you dreaming in no time. Handmade in the USA. Pillow Fight. Invest in your rest.
Did you guys see it's National Chip and Dip Day? You're going to want to grab those for this one. This next Reddit surprised me when I opened it. It's one of my favorites to respond to. Am I the asshole? And 9 times out of 10, they're not the asshole. So let's dive in. Do you think that we need to let others around us know that we're recording for our social medias? Do you think that we need to let others know that they may be broadcast on our social medias? As a content creator, I think that it's very important that we let the others know around us that we're recording. I don't do a lot of recording outside of my home because of that, because I know there's a lot of people in this world that don't want their faces on social media for whatever reason. And they're legitimate reasons to those people. So I make sure that I am not using any of my content that has other people in it unless I'm blurring faces or I've asked permission for them to be on it. All right, let's start this one. It says, am I the asshole for refusing to help a girl in gym unless she stops recording me? I'm not going to read the whole thing. It is so long. And you guys may have heard this on TikTok, or you may have heard this on Instagram because it was posted on TikTok and Instagram. This man who is 41 years old, he's married. He goes to the gym every morning at 5:30, and there's always this girl in there. It's very light with patronage. And she's in her early 20s. So she's like 20 years younger than him. And she needs a spotter one day. So she asks him. And he agrees, and they get set up, and they're getting ready to start. And he notices a phone. And he asks her, he's like, okay, I'll help you, but only if you stop recording me. And she goes on this big rant. Well, come to find out, she has been posting this man with blurring his face on social media for quite some time. And he is her gym crush. So he's 20 years older. He's this gym crush. And he finds out about the TikTok because his wife says, I found this. And she wants him to play along. So he starts playing along to find out what is this girl going to say next that is going to be posted on her social media about her gym crush. So they go on and they continue this relationship. He has coffee with her on Wednesdays, and they talk about she's his not personal trainer, but his her gym buddy that helps her with, nutrition and setups and, what exercises to use and everything. So they're having this whole relationship of the wife is watching this unfold on TikTok alone. And he comes to Reddit and posts this Reddit, and somebody on TikTok reads the Reddit out on TikTok, and the girl finds out, and she's so embarrassed. And then people start finding her on her social media, on her TikTok, and commenting awful, awful things about her. And really, she was trying to get the likes. She was trying to get the follow. She was trying to get, and not necessarily in the beginning either, because in the beginning on her TikTok, it was just family. And when she started posting about this 41-year-old man at the gym who was her TikTok crush, and he finally started speaking with her, and he finally, started interacting with her and everything. And they find the Reddit, she finds the Reddits, and she's embarrassed, and she deletes all the videos and tries to get away from it, but they're still interacting and finding her and making these comments. Because guys, once you put something on the internet, regardless if it is a photo, a video, or something you type, it is always there. Somebody has screenshotted it. Somebody has saved it, and they're reposting it. So guys, if you are posting on social media about funny things, about secretive things, those secretive things are not so secret. There are billions of people out here with internet, and you are going to come across it at some point of somebody reposting it. I see my stuff reposted all the time. So, make sure that when you're posting stuff that you're asking the people around you, especially if it's certain content. If you're a spicy creator, I would not post any TikToks that you make in public. I would not. You've got people's families out there, and they don't want their kids on your spicy page. They don't want their kids on your TikTok. They don't want their faces on your TikTok. I'm a spicy creator, so I don't make these things outside of my house. If I am making something in public, I am making it in a place where there's not a lot of people. If there are people there, I'm letting them know, hey, I'm making a TikTok right now. If you could not walk behind me in camera view or anything, that would be great. If they don't agree, then I'm going to go somewhere else, and I'm not going to throw a fit about it. Throwing a fit about somebody not wanting to be recorded is ridiculous. It is up to them. It is their personal preference. Please do not get upset if somebody says, please don't record me. Just, okay, thank you, and walk away. Go record somewhere else. It's not that big of a deal. It's really not.
Yeah, we even had someone in my extended family, one of my cousins, does not want any pictures of her on social media at all. And so we would do a big family picture with everyone, and no one was allowed to post it on social media. So then we would do one without her that we were allowed to post, because she's just very private. And she's just as like, I don't want my face on the internet, and I don't have to explain that to anybody. And she had her reasons, and her reasons are valid regardless of what they are. That's her choice.
Exactly. I personally, I don't even post my kids on my personal Facebook. I don't post my kids on it. If it is them, it is usually the back of them. You can't see any faces or anything like that. And that's because we went and did something fun that day. And I'm like, okay, let's take a photo. And we take the face front photo. That's mom's photo that she gets to keep. And then we take a photo of them facing the opposite direction. And I'm taking a photo of their backs. And be like, okay, this one's for my social media. And they know that, because I haven't even asked them, do they want to be posted? I haven't asked them because I don't think that it's appropriate, or that they are at the correct age where they can consent, because it is, and it's my big belief that anything you post on the internet is there forever. If I'm posting something with my kids and they disconnect with me in the future and they don't want anything to do with me, I'm going to be okay with that. But I'm also not going to give their children the opportunity to come across a video of me and my kids together when they don't want their kids to know about me. Do you know what I'm saying? And not saying that my kids would ever do that, but I just look at it this way. If there's some disconnect in the future and they have children, and because I have moved away and I've taken my family, my biological family, we have nothing to do with, and my kids don't have anything to do with them for personal reasons. So I wouldn't want my kids to see happy moments of me and my biological family together. So I'm glad we didn't have the internet back then. But I don't want my kids or my grandkids to come across something like that if it's not something that my kids want them to see. And it's there forever. Whatever you post on the internet is there forever. So if somebody asks you not to post them, please do not post them. That is their personal preference.
Yeah, I think about every time Kanye tweets something and then he deletes it, and then he tweets a response to his deleted tweet. And it's like, bro, just because you took it down, there's screenshots everywhere. And there's articles talking about the tweet that you took down. And so, yeah, I mean, stuff, it is out there forever. There's a digital footprint. And, some of my daughter's friends have TikTok. They're 13, and 13, I think, is the age you have to be to get on there. I could be wrong. Yeah, 13. And I saw one of the girls had posted a video that was like voicing over. it was like they had taken audio of somebody being like, bitch, and making a face. And the girl had titled it, "When I walk into science and see my teacher, second period," which is so specific. You are literally calling your science teacher a bitch, and she could see this. And so I told my daughter, like, you need to tell your friend to change that video. Like, I get it. You're mad at your teacher. You want to express it. They could change the title to that one teacher. You don't say my second period science teacher because it's just too specific. And so, you know, you got to think about the fact that something that you're posting today in anger or annoyance could be something that you really regret in tomorrow or in 5 years, when that teacher is the one that gets to, you know, decide if you get into whatever AP class that you need, you know, for college. Like, people have, who they are to us now is not necessarily who they will always be. And so we have to be smart with what we're posting. And then we have to be smart about who we're posting as well. Just like you said, it's like you might post a video with someone that ends up being not a great person. And now you have this association. I think about like the Epstein files. Now you have this horrible association because you posted with this person. So I'm not saying don't post anything, you know, I'm just saying, like, think about what you're posting and the context in which you're posting. This is something I need to get better at because I post a lot. But we really do need to be like cognizant of what we're doing online.
And we have to remember that the internet is not our diary. And a lot of people post about things that they would actually put in their personal diary. Like, I know as a child and growing up as a teenager too, I had my journal. I had my personal diary, and I would get so upset if people read those things. So if those are things that you're going to put in your personal diary, that you would be upset if your brother or your mom came in and found those things, maybe we shouldn't be posting those things on the internet for the entire world to see, just to get views and likes. I promise you, if you are just genuinely yourself and put your own personality out there, not, oh my gosh, what's going to be the shock factor, you're going to get a lot more likes, and you're going to get a lot more followers, and you're going to get a lot more interaction with your viewers too. And that's like super important to remember.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that we need to make sure that the goal of the things we're posting is not just likes and shock value. It's like, if we're going to be people who are trying to grow and be better and do all of the things, it's like, is there purpose or meaning behind what I'm posting? Is this something that can encourage somebody? And that's not to say you can't post things just because they're silly and funny or whatever, you know, maybe
we need entertainment too, guys. Don't stop posting the thirst traps. Don't stop posting the funny stuff. But if you're fighting with your boyfriend, or you've had a bad experience out in public, and, you know, don't post that stuff. Really, like, some of it is funny and some of it is a learning experience, and some of it does need to be heard because then other people are learning it. But if it's just like a shit show, don't be posting about your shit shows. Nobody really wants to hear about them.
My pet peeve is when they post about the shit show, but they make it really vague on purpose because they want you to like ask about it.
Or that, hold on, wait for the second part 2.
Oh.
And then part 2 never fucking comes out. Like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah, I'm thinking like people who post on Facebook, like, that's it, I'm done with everything. And you're like, what happened? Why did you fight with somebody? Or like, if they'll post like, well, I guess that's how it ends, ... It's like, you're
like, what ends?
You're really looking for emotional support,
Mhm.
and you want someone to reach out and see if you're okay. But that's very immature. It's very childish. A
No,
more
the best
mature thing to do.
yeah.
What?
I was like, the best thing to do is be like, hey guys, today was not such a great day. I could really use a pick me up. Anybody available to chat?
Yes. Yes. Or if you have a close friend,
Right.
reaching out to that friend and saying, hey, I had a really bad day. I feel like things are over with me and my whoever. Like, can you talk? But yes, some people don't have that person, but putting out there like, I had a hard day and I need support. Is somebody available for a phone call? I do that all the time with house projects. Like, I need somebody that can run electrical on a light because I cannot do that. Can anybody run electrical and install this new light?
Right.
I can do a lot of things on my own, but there's nothing wrong with asking for help and even using social media to ask for help, whether it's physical, mental, emotional. But don't do this dramatic, passive aggressive, woe is me drama. Like, just be an adult and just ask for help. Like, it's okay.
Right, exactly. And don't go to your lives and do this huge rant about how awful this person is and then 2 days later this person is your best friend. Please don't do that. Please don't go on there and be like, "Oh my gosh, my boyfriend is the most horrible person in the entire world and he did this and this to me." And then, the next morning you're waking up and you're like, "Oh my God, he's so amazing." And you're going back to TikTok live or Instagram live and you're like, "Oh my gosh, he bought me flowers this morning and he apologized and he is the best person." And 2 days later, you're in there bitching about him again.
Yep.
Like, nobody wants to watch that train wreck happen because it's going to crash. If you are on there doing that, please leave him.
Yep.
Please leave him. Don't be playing around with that shit.
There was someone I knew who posted on Facebook and it was very well written. And I felt so sad for her because she doesn't post a lot. And so she posted this long thing and I read the whole thing. And she basically said, I don't know what to do. My husband has left and is staying with another woman. And I have begged him to choose our family and stay with us. And he says he doesn't know what he wants. And then she lays out like chronologically, like these, not going into details, but like we were having struggles and then this happened and he went to her house and I called him and he wouldn't come home. And then this, and she just lays it all out. And it was literally a cry for help. Like, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to get my family back. And I'm like, this is very sad, but also not the place for it. And 2 days later, the post was taken down and she updated her profile picture and it was a picture of the two of them. And I'm like, we all saw the thing. We all know what happened. You told everybody. You can't just take it down and post the pic. Like, on one hand, I'm like, good for them that they're working it out, that they were able to talk and he probably came home. I don't know. But it's like, that's why you don't air that stuff to everybody on Facebook or TikTok. Like, you got to work through, you got to have a support system of people that you can talk through this stuff. Because random girl that you played t-ball with in kindergarten that's on your social media is not the one that needs to be seeing that you're going through this. You know what I'm saying?
Right, exactly. So guys, make sure that you guys are watching what you're posting. Girls, make sure you're watching what you're posting. Make sure that in 10 years, when you pull up your TikTok account, when you pull up your Instagram account, when you pull up your Facebook account, or whatever social media comes into play later on in the future, make sure that when you're pulling up those memories, that you're not going to be like, "Oh my God, I posted that. Oh my gosh. Can you believe those comments of those people?" Because people are judgmental whether we want them to be or not. They're going to be judgmental. You're going to get into those lives. You're going to get the judgmental comments. It's going to make you feel worse. Do not make yourself feel worse. What did we learn today? On how to make ourselves feel better. So we're going to use those skills. We're going to get out. We're going to start eating healthier. We're going to watch what we're putting into our bodies. We're going to get out there and exercise and get some sunlight, Maybe we're going to go for a walk, or maybe we're going to go for a run. Hey, pull out that bike from 1992 and put some WD-40 on it. Make sure them pedals are working and get out there on the road and bike. You know, do it in a safe manner. Do not do it on a back road, because I drive back roads all the time and I hate the bikers on the back roads. They drive me crazy. But again, that's me being judgmental, and I need to work on that.
But that might be a safety issue. That might affect your safety. So at least you have a sort of right to feel that way.
Make sure that we're checking in with our friends. Make sure that we're making sure our friends are okay. And if we don't have anybody checking on ourselves, make sure that we are checking on our own selves. Asking ourselves how we're feeling, asking ourselves how we're doing, and asking ourselves how we feel. So make sure that we're checking in. We're taking care of ourselves. The summer is coming. The heat is coming. Take the clothes off, girls. Take the clothes off, guys. It's okay. Who cares about judgment? And until next time, Ashley.
I want to add one more thing. So for those of us who maybe don't have that support system, people that you can reach out to, that you feel like you could pick up the phone, social media is a great way to build that support system. You know, we just saw on the episode that we had Trisha, Mama of Wolves, on. She has built up a following of 230,000 people on TikTok, and that is her support system now. Mm-hmm. And there's somebody that I follow, and gosh, I'm terrible. I can't remember her name. But she has really short, kind of shaved hair on the side. It's blonde, and then it kind of goes over on top, and sometimes she spikes it. And she wears the brightest eyeshadow and the most fun colors, and she has this little dog. And it's the same thing with her. She came to TikTok because she was going through some struggles. So she just started kind of throwing out there, not the vague drama for attention, but like the cry for help, like I need support. Is someone there that can talk through something, or someone who's gone through something similar? And she was able to build up, like, I don't know how many, but thousands and thousands of followers. And just knowing, like, especially if you're someone who's moved to a new place and you've struggled to make friendships, or maybe this new place you've moved, everyone is kind of differently politically aligned or religiously aligned, or just different priorities. You know, maybe you're in a small town, but you're from the city, or you're in the city and you're from a small city. You just feel out of place, you know? Online is really a great way to build community, and you can find groups on these different pages of like interests, whether it's improving mental health or whether it's trying to improve physical health and tips and tricks. Man, I started Googling. I didn't even do it in TikTok. I started Googling high protein recipes, and I started getting high protein recipes on TikTok. It's all connected. And now I'm like, oh yes, and I'm saving all of these recipes and whatever. And the more you like them, the more you save whatever. My Instagram is all the self-help and boundaries and healing and all that kind of stuff. And so whatever your interest is, just there are like-minded people out there. You just got to look for them, and you got to make the effort to kind of go that extra mile to find those people.
I agree with Ashley. Take all of her advice, and we're running just a little bit over time. Until next week, join us again next Sunday at 9:30 p.m. wherever you're viewing us now.
Bye.
Bye.
Are you someone that sleeps? Our studies show you likely are. Designed for side sleepers straight out of the box, the Pillow Fight Haymaker Loft can be adjusted for back or stomach sleepers in mere seconds. Look at your current pillow. Face it, it's nasty. Our competition uses these cheap blobs of foam that just aren't comfortable or supportive. Pillow Fight's proprietary noodle-shaped foam blend rebounds quickly for maximum cool, comfort, and support. Oh yeah. Our naturally cooling cover will have you dreaming in no time. Handmade in the USA. Pillow Fight. Invest in your rest.